Hello, everybody. I'm Kyle Crowling. I am a sophomore at Gull Lake High School and a student in the Computer Science and Software Engineering program. Today, I'm going to be showcasing my Arduino MP3 player project I made for my Computer Science Software Engineering class. So, I have some of my pictures here and the code here. I will be going through and explaining all of the code, all of the resources I've used, and my file management in Gitkraken. So first up, as you'll see over here in the code, the developers are myself, William Holmes, and Kira McKimmey. Kira McKimmey unfortunately transferred out of this class, so she did not fully complete the project with us. However, she did help. So over here we have some multi-line comments. This is code in C++ because of the Arduino. As you can see here, I will start with some of our earlier versions of the project. As you can see, this is me and William testing out some of the resistors for the buttons, making sure they are working. Then we have our LCD screen. Then we have LCD screen. I don't know why it freeze framed there. But yeah, we did a lot of things in this project. I enjoyed it a lot. So, first up, for some of our stuff, we use this to help get us started with our MP3 player. Here we used this exact model, the serial MP3 player, for our Arduino. Unfortunately, some of this information was a bit off, so we did have to switch around some of these pins. As you can see, we have it connected here. The ground, well, is of course the ground. The VCC is the 5 volt. The TX goes to pin 11, RX goes to pin 10. As seen here. However, in this, we had many things going to our 5 volt stuff. So, this is why we had our 5 volt cable go over to this port, well, go over to a positive rail on the side. I think this one has a better picture of it. No, it's not. As shown here, we have our 5 volts. Oops. We have our 5 volt cable right there going over here, and this will power this entire rail, allowing our LCD screen, our potentiometer, and our serial MP3 player, as long as these buttons, to get as much power as they need. As well as this ground cable also coming all the way over here, right there, and providing ground current to all of these ones as well. So here, we had to use the liquid crystal I2C library for the LCD display. And we had this library, the serial MP3 player.h, for controlling the MP3 module. And then we have another library used by the LCD, wire H. So, we edited a bunch of this using ChatGPT and, Claude, for some of the troubleshooting and some of the code development, because we obviously did not write this all ourselves. We do not specialize in C++, nor do we specialize in Arduino code. So we did use AI to help us. But I am going to explain some of it. So, right here, this shows the RX and TX pins, well, just defines them. And then this creates the amount of columns used on our MP3 player, like that. It is 16 columns and 2 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 1 column for each letter or number. And the last volume, it tracks volume, so it only updates it when it changes. Like when I turn the potentiometer. And this void setup. This begins the entire process of the MP3 player on the LCD screen. This will tell us for it to say MP3 ready. That way, we know it works. That's what this void loop is. Or void setup, at least. Next up, it'll say previous if it gets input from buttons down here to say previous or next or paused. Next up, we have this void loop for our potentiometer volume control. Over here, this code explains that it will move and save to a new volume if the potentiometer, it's a little dial, is turned. Then we have this section here. This essentially just tells the LCD to print what track it is, track 1, track 2, to show the difference between different songs. And this is just the duration of what it's going to do. Yeah. Then this is all if statements. If the next button is pressed, it's going to say next track. Previous, I'm going to say previous. And if play pause, it's going to say play or pause, depending on which one is already pressed. Then these are the individual commands where we can use the serial monitor if the Arduino is hooked up directly to our computer, but we are not going to do that for our presentation on it, so we are not going to go over it. So, some of the file management I used is Git Kraken Desktop for the multiple branches we had. We had 6 total branches. Our autoplay branch, which was never fully working. Our beta test dev, our buttons branch, LCD, and our potentiometer branch. Then our main branch, of course. So, that is what we used, and current file management for it would be, we have our different repositories. We would go to our Arduino MP3 player. We have the CAD design William made for the cooled enclosure we have for our Arduino. We have the MP3 player code, and then we have all the pictures for multiple days, like this, box, and day 7 where I soldered the buttons together. A massive amount of failures happened with the buttons. As a matter of fact, the buttons and the autoplay branch, those 2 branches were possibly the most difficult ones to do because we knew nothing about it. That and our potentiometer. Our potentiometer was pretty difficult, but fairly easy. But the one we never got working was our autoplay branch. As you can see, it was never merged into our beta test or into our main. Not once has that worked. Why? We don't know. But what we think it is if I check that branch out real quick, then I have to go in here, go to Arduino MP3 code. So this is the total code. We don't know why it isn't working. I'm sure it might be just a library issue, but I'm not completely sure. That this has by far been the most difficult part. But for now, we are just going to use the individual buttons to play the next track, pause it, stop it, do all that stuff. And then the potentiometer, of course. And here's the project now. It works as we speak. I had a few mistakes with it a while ago. But this is it working so far. Plays the next track, and I will unmute it for a little bit. That way you can hear some of it. As you can see, playing works, skipping to the next song works, turning it down and turning it up works. LCD works great. There's some of the wiring. As you can see, this is the current configuration. For these resistors being plugged directly into this positive rail here, that I got inspiration from one of our older projects. Picture will be shown on the screen now. This was made, I think, about 5 or more years ago. And I got the idea from it because there is so little space in this box, yet so much wiring I have to do. So any little bit of wiring that I can remove and make more simple would help a lot. But yeah, also as you can see down there, if you look past a bit of the wires, we hot glued the buttons there. They still work, of course, along with LCD screen. There are the buttons. Well, these are the analog pins, the ground pins, and these are all the digital pins. These squiggly lines mean PWM. You can just adjust what's happening with them. Alright, so thank you for watching. I really did enjoy this project. I will probably post more in the future about things like this. I really hope everybody has a great day. Please subscribe and like this video so maybe future jobs would see this. I doubt it, but hopefully they will. And I want to give a big thanks for Mr. Lang for making this possible, getting the grant for these Arduinos a couple years ago. These have been a really great help in learning C++ code, and overall I really enjoyed it. Working with William and Kiara, it was really fun. Alright, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a good day.